how to live from your center. To answer this question, we need to first ask, what is the center? I would say that the center is a place in my mental space, in our mental space, where everything kind of aligns together and works together in a cohesive way. And that is felt very strongly in the body as well. It can be perceived very easily when I'm in my center or when I'm not in my center. When I'm not in my center, I can sometimes miss that and not be aware of that. But when I am coming back into my center, whoo, wow, there is something there that feels different. So, with that being said, why should we want to live more from our center? I would say that for me, my center is where I want to make my decisions from. So I want to make sure I'm in that state of centeredness when I make big decisions. When I am going for a very important meeting or a call, I want to be in my center. This is the experience that I want to experience in my body and in my mind, because that's what's going to give me that advantage, that frictionless power within me to really bring myself, really execute and take the action that I want to take, or really communicate myself in the honest and vulnerable and efficient way when I'm dealing with another party in a meeting, whether it's a business or it's a personal situation. So these are the times where I really want to be in my center. So how do we reach this center? How do we reach this mental space, bodily experience, which is the center? The first step we are going to take to reach our center is ask a question to ourselves. And this question is, what's important to me in life? And this is a big question, but the answers come down to mostly very specific things. It can be my family and my relationship with my family. It can be my health, the health of my body. It can be my habits, my eating habits, my sports, my relationships, my romantic relationship with my partner. It can be my relationship with my friends. It can be my job and my purpose in life. It can be having more freedom. It can be going on really, really fulfilling journeys and vacations regularly. And once I'm aware of what's really important to me in life, and I bring it actively to awareness right now in the moment, then something in my mental space changes. And I could say that the stakes are exposed, meaning if I'm in a certain situation, I'm about to make an important decision, and then I go back into myself and I ask myself what's really important to me in life, and if this decision has to do anything with those things that are important to me, and it mostly does have an impact on those things, then when I see, when I feel, when I'm really aware in the moment of the stakes of whether making this decision or that would take me nearer or further from the things which are really important to me, that brings some kind of clarity, and that's the first step that brings me closer to my center. The second step to get closer to my center is doing a breathing exercise. Why a breathing exercise? Our breath is the most fundamental mechanism of the body that we have control of. We don't control our guts, we control our muscles to a certain degree, but they also have a large degree of autonomous um, action. The breath is something that we can really take action with and control to a very precise degree. For those reasons, this is a perfect method to reach onto our center. So, um, any kind of breathing exercise will work. I'll demonstrate just one very short one for you, and you could use this one if you want. So we are going to breathe from the nose, and we are going to do 4 short breaths and 1 long breath. It's going to look like this. I did the exercise 4 times, and right now I feel some energy moving through my body, and I feel much more in tune with my body. And that's the important thing here. That's why it doesn't matter at all which breathing exercise you choose, as long as you really do it with awareness and you really give it the space, and you really let yourself feel what does it have to give you. It could be any pattern of breath. The third step to reaching your center is telling yourself that you love yourself. This may sound like quite a simple thing, but emotionally, it has a big impact. What we want to bring here is the awareness to self-love and to self-care. And when I close my eyes and I really honestly tell myself that I love me, that changes something inside. And emotionally, that brings me closer to my center. And it can be something for many of you that you're not used to doing, and that's okay. And I invite you to really try. It doesn't have to be in a room with many people. You can go take yourself to a place where you're just with yourself and do this third step. What happens if you don't manage to do any of those steps? You disconnect or you don't feel like it. I would invite you to then take that step only and work on it. You can journal on it. You can let it go through your mind and see what happens there. And see how could you maybe with time get to doing that step. When we want to do a triathlon and we can run and we can cycle but we cannot swim, we will not be able to do the triathlon. And here it's the same. We want to work with our mental, our mind, our body, and our emotions in order to really get to our center. So if there is any kind of blockage, I invite you to work on that certain blockage, so that you could then do the whole framework all together. So when you want to reach your center, I invite you to do those 3 steps, one after the other, and see how does that feel in your body, in your mind, in your mental space. I assure you that if you do them a few times, one after the other, maybe not on the first time, maybe on the second or the third, you will feel something distinctively different in your mental space, in your being. And that is the center. Now, before you run to your important decision, meeting, or call, I invite you to do one more thing. And it's a very crucial thing. I invite you to take a mental note of this state that you are in. It's the same like after a big run or a big any kind of exertion that we do with our body for the first time. We want to really feel, oh wow, all my muscles are alive, and all that kind of aliveness, and that creates this memory that we can reach this state. And that's what we want to cultivate, because to reach our center and to live more from our center, what we want is not to have to do the exercise every time. Yeah, sometimes we will forget our center and we will feel very far from it, and then the framework really helps. But essentially, we want this to be like a gym for ourselves. And when we treat it like that, we want to do the framework, feel the result in our body, feel the state that we had reached to, and then take that mental note. And the more we will reach that and take those mental notes, the more naturally our mental state would be a one of centeredness. By default, we will find ourselves, especially before important meetings, important decisions, or any kind of conflict resolution that we have to do with someone, tuning into our center naturally. And that is how we live from our center. If you've received any value until now on the video about how to reach your center, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. It helps me a lot and allows me to bring so much more content like this completely for free to you. Thank you for subscribing. How did you feel doing those 3 steps to reach your center? Did you manage to reach your center, or was there anything else there blocking you? Please comment writing your experience so that it could help others and we could all learn together. See you in the next video.